Good morning, fellow artists and YouTubers. I am hopping on here today to kind of update as to projects that I'm working on presently. I actually paused a project that was a personal project, which I may have a video up for at this point. I'm not sure, honestly, if that will be up prior to this one or not. But yeah, I started a personal project, and when I began it, I was like, oh, if I do this, I will probably end up with, some other commissioned piece to work on. And sure enough, the next day, someone reached out to me, which was yesterday, and I now have another commissioned work to focus on. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, just thought I would hop on and share what I've worked on towards the new project so far, and then take you along for the journey if you're interested in seeing the process. So yesterday afternoon, a lady reached out to me. Where to begin? We had a lot of back and forth conversation, which was really fun. Sometimes when someone requests a commission, it's just a very quick, this is the photo and what size do you recommend, or this is the size I want it in, and then we get started kind of thing. But yeah, yesterday when she reached out to me, she was truly seeking my opinion and seeing what I could come up with creatively to make something that doesn't truly exist in the way that she would like it to. So she has a nephew who recently he's about to come home from boot camp actually, and she wanted to have an art piece made for him as a memorial piece towards her mother. I guess her mother and her nephew were very, very close, and her mother passed away, and actually the funeral was held on the same day that her nephew had to go away to boot camp. So the timing of that was just very hard on him, and she felt like he hadn't had a chance to grieve, and that was truly on her heart to give him a piece of art that would help him to connect and reflect and just maybe be able to process some of that emotionally now that he's back home for a little while here. And yeah, so I'm first of all an honor to be part of something like that. People are going through grief. I think I'd mentioned in a previous video, often with the pet portraits, you're reached out to do a lot of memorial pieces of persons' pets. But the same is true for when you're doing realistic portraiture. Often, thankfully not all of the time, but often enough, it will be for someone who has passed away. So that's a very sad thing, but also a very touching thing to be able to be a part of, and hopefully help someone in processing grief, or just to add a bit of something precious that they can look towards in remembrance. So yeah, that is the piece that I will be starting. However, what makes this one interesting is the woman who reached out to me did not have a specific photograph that she was interested in using. She originally sent one of her nephew from the service, from boot camp. He's all in uniform and, standing, looking very serious, very, that straightforward stance. And she wondered if I had any ideas of how to incorporate her mother, who had passed recently, into that picture. So I sent her back and forth a few different ideas. I think my first thought was to ask her if her mother had any specific jewelry pieces, like a necklace or something, that was very characteristically her, a belonging that he could either have in his pocket, perhaps hanging out of his jacket, or if it was a necklace, or something he could be holding if it was a larger item, that would be in reflection, in remembrance of this woman's mother. So that was one of my first ideas. I also offered 3 things in that initial text. That was one of the thoughts. Another was, if she had a picture of her mom that she wanted me to try incorporating, and have her mom actually be there with him in uniform. I also asked if she, kind of on that same thought process, if she had another photo of her nephew with her mother, and wanted to like put him in uniform even if he wasn't in uniform in that photo. I was like, I could do that and just use a photo that already exists, especially if it was like a special moment between the two of them. That might be a good way to bring that together. And then my third option was to ask if, you know, she did just want the standing photo of her nephew and wanted to incorporate her mother by using like some commonly used words or, you know, a quote from her mom that she would say often, and I offered to like write that in script in the background. So yeah, those were my like first handful of ideas to send to her, and we went back and forth for a while, like chatting more about her mom and about her nephew, and she ended up finding another photograph of her mom and nephew that she sent to me. That was kind of one of those like sweet moments, I guess, that was caught in a photo. It was not like a very clear photo, like it wasn't, I don't know, they weren't posing, I guess is what I would mean to say. But it was her mom, I guess, had fallen down and her nephew was helping her up. So it was kind of one of those like sweet between the two of them moments. And yeah, so I have these two photos to work from now. It does sound like she's most interested in having one drawn image that combines both her mom and her nephew, so two people, rather than like a belonging. We did discuss some belongings, and I think some of the ones she sent back were really sweet. I guess this lady was a football fan, and she has a helmet, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool actually to like have him holding her helmet. Like it was a very sentimental thing to her mother, enough so that they actually, I believe she said that they put the helmet by her like tombstone, like very personal item. So like that's kind of a neat idea. But the ones that we're starting off looking at today are of the two of them together, the nephew and the mother. So yeah, I guess what I've done so far, just to update, that was the whole like pre-drawing anything conversation. And then I got to work last night and this morning on creating 3 images digitally of combining those different photographs with some new positions that they weren't in, because I didn't want it to look like, you know, the mother was falling. I wanted it to be more of like embracing of her and the nephew a little bit closer. And then I did 2 of the mother with him on the day that I'm guessing it was like the ceremony, graduation or whatever, that he was standing in for his boot camp photograph. So yeah, so I'm gonna figure out a way to put those 3 examples up on the screen somewheres here or upcoming, so that you can see what those were. I just created those using Procreate on my iPad. So I just took the photographs and was able to have them right there on display so that I could just like map out some really quick drawings digitally and, you know, show like what some options would be. So these are not like finished professionally done pieces. I do like to draw on the iPad, and I can make them look a little bit more polished than they will here, but this is just so that I had something to send this lady, so that she could really see what I would be envisioning based off of her descriptions before I actually put pencil to paper. Yeah, so that is where we're at now. I sent those 3 sample pieces to her just a little bit ago, so I will be waiting to hear back. And once I do, I guess we'll know what direction to move forward in from there. I believe this will ultimately be a black and white drawing because there's a bit of a time crunch. Unfortunately, I have to have the drawing in her hands by about a week from today, actually, because she's going to be seeing her nephew next Saturday. So not much time, and colored pencil tends to take a bit longer. So we're going to stick with black and white. Yeah, that's really all I have to report so far, all I know up to this point, but I think it's off to a good start. And yeah, like I said, it's an honor to be part of this, and I hope that it is a blessing to them once we have this all pulled together. So I'll pause there for now. Okay, I'm back. I know I was planning to not do more recording after dark because the lighting just isn't as good, but I think because this is just an outline sketch, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of sketching this evening. We just got home. It's about 9 o'clock at night. My husband is downstairs practicing violin for an upcoming show that we're in, so you'll get to hear him playing in the background a little bit, I think. I haven't told him that yet, so probably if he hears me talking though, he'll know. He'll be in the background, but yeah, so where to begin? I did hear back from the lady I mentioned earlier. I was waiting for a response from her before I got started, and of the three drawings, she's actually still struggling to decide which one is her preferred route to go in. So I don't have a definitive answer yet, which is understandable. I totally see where she's coming from. I agree with her. Like, there's something endearing, I think, about the picture where the two of them are looking at each other, the nephew and the grandmother. But also her nephew presently looks more like he does in the straightforward photo. And there was something else I think she liked about that one too. So yeah, it's just a tough call. But I figured while I'm waiting to hear back from her, I'm gonna do a little bit of sketching tonight just because I have a little downtime this evening. And then if she does happen to decide on the same one that I'm leaning towards, which I have not led the witness on this, I haven't told her which one I prefer, but maybe she'll choose the same one. It's my naughty cat in the background. This is Avery. He's not supposed to be in here, but I did leave the door open so I could hear the violin playing downstairs. It sounds pretty great. I don't know if you can hear it over the recording. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start sketching. I'll turn the camera so that you can watch what I work on. Yeah, and maybe I'll move the cat out of the art room. We'll see. draw their faces much smaller or use a different size piece of paper. I'll pause this and let you know what I do in like maybe 10 minutes. I have to decide. Okay, I'm back. It's a new day. It was more than the intended 10-minute break that I thought I was taking yesterday evening while working on this project. I have a bunch of drawings on the floor right here now. I tried doing that sketch a number of times and just wasn't happy with it again and again, which happens sometimes, and this is definitely like, I knew it would be a bit of a challenging piece because I like to just draw like exactly what's written, exactly what's in the photograph kind of thing. And, you know, needed to move people around and change positions a bit. And yeah, not loving the outcome so far. So I've got a few rough sketches here on the floor. That's my current disaster of a room. And I think I'd like to do a little bit of coloring in, you know, filling in, shading, coloring like a 5-year-old, you know. No, I'd like to do some shading on my favorite of these 3 that I've got laid out here right now. So I think I'm gonna work on that. There's a definite possibility that I will just draw this in a larger size. It's hard to like get that much detail and accuracy when the, you know, what you're working from doesn't have that much detail in it in a small size. So it's very possible that I'll end up drawing this as a 16 by 20. But right now I'm gonna test out a little black and white pencil sketching on the 11 by 14 that I've got, you know, outlined here. So we'll see how that goes. hopping on here really quick to say that I did hear back from the client this afternoon, and she was happy with going in this direction for the drawing, which I'm super excited about because I did a bit more sketching on this yesterday, and I really kind of like where it's going. I have the grandmother figure looking up at the nephew in a bit more of like an affectionate, endearing sort of way, and I'm also presently softening the facial features of her nephew in the service. So I think it's gonna work out well. It took me a while to be happy with like the positioning and sizing on this page, but I think I'll be able to do the 11 by 14, which is amazing because then I can probably finish it up tonight and get it mailed to her in the morning, and I would just have a lot more peace of mind knowing that it was in her hands, you know, by middle of the week, and make sure that she has it in time for seeing him this weekend. So yeah, so that's a huge relief, and I'm excited to get back to, you know, spending a good bit more time drawing on this. So clip for this drawing. I just finished and actually put the piece in its frame. I'll show you. I actually really love how it turned out. Yeah, for a drawing that was so hard to like decide what to do with it exactly and figure out how to like bring the different pieces of this drawing together. I am really, really happy with the results. I feel like it just kind of captured exactly what me and the client were looking for. So I'm excited to get this mailed to her. I think that she'll love it. She did see a bit of the sketch already. I had done like a small portion of this and I sent it to her just to be like, hey, is this the right direction? And she loved that. So I feel like if she liked it then, she'll love the finished version. So that's a relief. Yeah, but even though it had its challenging moments, like the rough sketch portion of this drawing, I found pretty stressful, but now that it's all together, I can say I really did enjoy, like as soon as I started shading, it just, everything fell into place and it came together relatively quickly. Yeah, so just really, really thankful to have been able to be part of this project, and it's another drawing completed for this year, so that's always a good feeling. And yeah, I guess it's over and out for today. I'll call it a night. I'm getting a little tired, but yeah, thanks for coming along.